Hello, friends. Continuing with the episodes on how to attack 2025. If you remember in the last episode, I said I'm going to talk about different categories, and we started with retailing. Today, I'm going to talk about careers and how they would shape up and what you need to remember to have a great 2025 and beyond. What mindsets do you need to change? What are the growth plans that you can make? What are the environmental changes that one can expect? And this is what this episode is about. So here I'd like to tell you that in reality, if I want to do full justice to this particular topic, it is, I think, going to take something like 10 or 12 hours. So what I'm doing today actually is going to give you the highlights, the cues that you need to remember so that you have a great 2025. It's impossible to go in detail, but as has happened with retailers, although I did not anticipate it, you can write to me asking me specific questions, which I shall be very happy to address and try to ensure that you get the answers to what you are looking for. So to begin with, let me give you some general pointers that one should remember for success in any career. This is not relating particularly to 2025, but it is meant for ever and ever and ever. And it's not only as far as a career is concerned, it is as far as anything that you choose to do in life, even beyond your career. The first and foremost thing is that you should focus on what is meaningful. Do things that have some meaning for yourself, for your life, and that makes you happy. Do not waste time on unnecessary things. They are a waste and they just pull you down. So remember, always focus on what is meaningful to you. The second thing I would like to say here is prioritize relationships. It's not only at home that relationships are important, it is even at work that relationships are important. Because it is these relationships that will help you propel in your career. They will give you support. It may be tacit support, it may be active support, but they are there for you. So they will help you and propel you towards your goal. I remember when I used to jog, if I'm jogging alone, I would jog at maybe 8-9 kilometers per hour. But when I was jogging with a group, I could easily jog at 10 kilometers per hour. And my group always used to tell me, running in a group, one pulls the other with him, and therefore you perform better. It is the same at work. Run with the relationships that you have built, and they will propel you, they will carry you, and ensure that you move at the right speed in the right direction. Plan and schedule your to-do list after prioritizing it. And as I've said before, be completely ruthless when you're prioritizing your to-do list. Anything that doesn't match your goals, anything that doesn't help you in what it is that you want to achieve, just throw it into the dustbin. Or at worst, put it somewhere on the side, saying that, okay, when I have time, I'll attend to this, which maybe never, but that's okay, because otherwise you're going to throw it in the dustbin in any case. So prioritize ruthlessly and then plan and schedule your time. You can use various time management techniques, which we've spoken about extensively in an earlier episode. But schedule your time. Don't take things as they come. That reduces your productivity. challenge yourself. Your future me has to be better than your current me. And that can only happen if you challenge yourself. If you're going to stay in your comfort zone, if you're going to do what you've always been doing, you'll get the same result that you've always been getting. Unless you're very satisfied, then, well, half of this talk is useless. So challenge yourself. Get out of your comfort zone. Embrace discomfort. Embrace hardship. It is never going to be easy. But you need to embrace that. You need to overcome that difficulty, that level of hardness to get to the next stage. And most important, because it's a part of the focus that we talked of, but find your contribution area. I'm an engineer. If somebody asks me to do accounting, what's going to happen? Same thing. Or somewhere I had heard, I think it was in the movie Three Idiots, that if Sachin Tendulkar was told to sing and if Lata Mangeshkar was told to play cricket, what would I have? That was not their area of expertise. So find your contribution area, which is naturally based on your area of expertise. If you're doing a project and if you're excellent at scheduling everything and planning and making a roadmap, focus on that, contribute to that. Don't contribute to some other aspect of the project, which is not your forte. So based on your expertise, please find out your contribution area. Now, having talked about these general things that work all the time, you need to set career goals. Now, what is very important is that these career goals align with your values and your aim of where you want to go. So you have to target, okay, saying, this is what I want to be before or by the end of 2025. Once you have said that, you set your career goals. And you have to remember some things. And I'm going to give you some of the pointers of what you need to remember, because a lot of times you would get sidetracked, you would get distracted by something that happens, which may in reality be good for you, but which is not within your ambient viewpoint. Okay. So very frankly, a lot of times the best career moves seem like a sidestep. Okay, and they are not giving you direct results in terms of a promotion. I joined my company, Mahindra Brothers, for the software division as an IT manager, so to say. I ended up doing so many other things for them over the 25 years that I worked with them that it is unbelievable. I myself am astounded how those side steps actually became my success steps. So whenever you're doing something, ask what skill are you building? And is that skill in sync with your values and your goals? Don't ask yourself what title. I never held a title at Mahindra Brothers till I started unit design. I worked for a few years at their initial partnership company called TriStar. I had no designation there, but I learned so much that I could start unit design and manage it for many, many years. The second thing you need to remember is your values are not what you say they are. I can say so many things, but those don't become my values. My values are defined by where I spend time doing something. Where is my energy being consumed? It's being spent. And therefore, you need to track what it is that you're doing, which is consuming your energy. And that is what will reveal your true priorities, because you enjoy doing it, because you're getting something out of it, whatever be the reason. But those are your true priorities. And those priorities are basically the values that you can talk to people about, because you will be constantly applying them to everything that you do. An important thing to remember, and this is my third point when you set goals, is that I have very often seen, even with myself, the goal I've been avoiding, the goal I've been procrastinating about, is actually the most important one. And invariably, the important goals are the most difficult ones also. So the goal you're avoiding may be the most important one. So list down what you have been postponing, what you have been deferring constantly. And frankly, pick the scariest one out of that. As I said, those difficult goals are the ones that help you most. You probably set them knowing they were very difficult, but that you would get most out of it. So pick the scariest one and make a determined effort to go ahead and achieve that goal. So this is the third point. The next point that I would like to make is that change your mindset. Your career fulfillment does not, I repeat, does not come from your promotions or your salary hikes. Your career fulfillment really should come from your growth. This is the mindset that you need to create. So it is growth. What have you learned? What are the new skills you have learned? What is it that you are doing better than you were doing yesterday? Promotion and salary is not the real criteria for career fulfillment. Okay? In fact, when you talk about your career, it would be a great idea to replace, I want to be the CEO. So giving an example, maybe it's I want to be the marketing head, but change it to, I want to learn marketing so that I can go and sell a refrigerator at the North Pole. So it is your growth fulfillment will come from your career fulfillment should come from your growth and not from your designation or titles that you get. I think I've said this before, and I think I've got enough, not enough, but I've got a few messages saying that they agree with me, is that do not set goals or do not set aims, targets for yourself based on what others are doing. They may not fit you. Don't try to step into their shoes, not even your father's, as is popularly. Okay, so most rejections, most unhappiness, most regrets come from following that rule where you are taking somebody else's definition of success and trying to make it your own. And if you want to really define what you would call successful, is take a piece of paper or a recorder and record what you would say if you were introducing yourself at some event. Listen to it. What are the things that you highlighted? And when you listen to it, what are the things you wish you had mentioned? Those are the ones that you should be focusing on. You will notice that the results are very distinctive from what you thought is success. We all have values. But let me tell you, values without boundaries are cause of burnout. You might have loftiest values and loftiest goals, but if they're not boundaries, if they're not defined, they lead to burnout because you never know when you've achieved it or when to stop. When setting goals, I think I'd spoken in 2 episodes earlier about setting anti-goals. Now, in the same way, that same anti-goal list, you need to make an anti-goal list saying, not this year. Okay, it could be for many reasons. One, you have to learn something before that which you're doing this year. So you can't take that up this year. Or you will try to rush through it and not get the best results. So create a not this year list Maybe you can schedule saying that, okay, this activity, this goal comes next year or the year after next. I have finished goals A, B, then C. But whatever it is that you are delaying, be very conscious about it. Think well about what it is that you are delaying and whether it is justified in delaying. A very important factor, and this was a factor for me, because even my bosses, Kitan Bhai, Kavin Bhai, were very, very helpful when it came. Your environment shapes your goals. They put faith in me, and that is what propelled me. Of course, it's willpower along with it that is going to drive you and make you achieve the goal. But the environment makes a big difference. And therefore, to make sure you have the right environment around, look at the relationships you have around. Who are the people, who are the 5 closest or the 2 closest people whom you can talk to and seek their help? Who are the others who are not close enough, but who you think can help you? Cultivate those relationships. But make sure that every relationship that you manage or cultivate is one that will take you towards your goal, not away from it. It will not make you compromise on your values. You might achieve success in certain things, but they're not aligned with your goals or your values. Now, these successes, although they are successful and they feel good to have achieved something, they are actually empty achievements because they're not helping you in what you have set yourself up to do. So for each goal and for each success, ask yourself, will this matter next year? Or will this matter 5 years from now? Or for that matter, will this ever matter? If the answer is no, that means that's an empty achievement. Fine, you spend time on it, but next time be mindful. Let's not waste time. Another thing that I think you need to know is that growth does not happen in a straight line. That's only in fantasy. Growth is like this. And therefore, growth comes in sprints. You will have one sprint which has given you tremendous growth. After that, it might fall down a little, but then you wait and start engineering the next sprint, which will take you to a peak higher than the previous one. But growth comes in sprints. And therefore, when you're evaluating yourself, don't say, I will evaluate myself only at the end of the year. These sprints need to be evaluated. So maybe you should evaluate yourself every 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, depending on what kind of job you're in. So take those sprints, see where the peak has come, see how much below the peak you're going, if at all, if not, fantastic, and then plan the next sprint to take you to a peak that is higher than the previous one. Okay? And finally, always remember that your future self is built on the choices that you make today, no matter how tiny those choices are. And therefore, be a great idea to create one small habit, one micro habit, so to say, that reflects your core value and build that habit so that it becomes second nature to you. Simple things. When I go for my walk, for the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes, depending on the episode I'm listening to, I listen to HPR. A lot of knowledge of what I'm sharing with you comes from them, from all those learned people. Okay. After that, I listen to music. Make this small habit. And then I listen to music. Then I'm on my mood and walking and listening to music. But that 10 minutes of daily listening to an HPR podcast has increased my knowledge substantially. Okay. There are times when that episode is far long. There are times when I listen to 30-minute episodes. But then I try to break them up into two parts, as many of you all might be doing with my episode, or as one very dear friend who's in the US and who's like my sister to me, had told me that she listens to all my episodes at 1.2 or 1.5x speed. She thinks I talk too much. And I agree with her. Everybody has advised me, but I don't know. I'm not able to manage my content to finish in that 15 minutes. So always keep track of yourself, all these things that you're doing, and compare the current you with the future you at every stage. There are 2 points I'd like to make. I know it's already 20 minutes, but there are 2 points I'd like to make. I wouldn't like to like this episode without saying that. Two things that you need to be aware of, especially in 2025 and beyond, beginning with this year. The first is about remote work and hybrid. While a lot of companies have started asking for return to office, I know, may not be in all industries in India, but I know that that is happening globally, where there's a lot of resistance to it. People are finding that their employees are taking additional leaves, at times even unpaid. Okay, that there are people who are just resigning outright. So you'll have to work on that. You'll have to figure out what it is that you want. Because COVID has made us realize that sitting at home, I can do the work that I was doing sitting in office, and with the same efficiency, if not more, in certain cases. So why should I go to work every day? Why should I spend those 3 hours traveling or 2 hours traveling in all the traffic, in all the dust, overcrowded trains, overcrowded buses, overcrowded means of transportation, no matter what you look at? Okay, so you want to, why not work from home? Maybe hybrid, a couple of days when you have meetings or something, you go to work, but otherwise work from home. And a lot of companies are accepting this nowadays. Okay, because it saves plenty of time and the efficiency increases. Also, the life of that person becomes better. If he is taking care of his aged parents or something, it becomes easier and maybe less expensive because he might need less help. Okay, and one more thing I have seen, that if this is not possible, I've seen that a lot of people are asking for flexible working hours, which is going to become a norm, I believe, very soon in this year itself. So this is the second one. Is what everybody is always worried about is, what is AI going to do? Is my job under threat? Your job is under threat if you're doing one of those things that doesn't require the gray cells, or which doesn't require the emotion. Those repetitive tasks are definitely going to be taken up by AI. It has started in a big way in the US because labor is probably more expensive there, but it is going to come to India also because the efficiency increases. But if you develop skills, if you develop systems that require that human brain and not a mechanical brain, you're very safe. And your job is not going to be taken away very easily. Okay, so to protect yourself against AI, develop those skills. People call them soft skills, I call them essential skills. But develop those skills and make sure that you go ahead and keep these pointers in mind. Immaterial of your present job. Plan and start training yourself to be the future that you want and that cannot be displayed, whether it is AI or by anything else coming up. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the session. Do send me your comments. I'd love to hear them. Thank you. Bye-bye.